Fade down, isn't it? Fade down. How's it going?
It's very dramatic. Thank
Right,
you so much
everyone.
for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. What a lovely day so far.
So I've just learned something very new.
Go on.
I thought you were Welsh,
I am Welsh.
with a Welsh accent.
I'm more Welsh in Torchwood.
Yes.
I'm from Newport, which is quite an anglicised part of Wales anyway. So I know Welsh accents are quite soft. In fact, some of them sound a bit brummy or a bit scouse.
Yeah.
Being from a town. And it was only after the Welsh Assembly came in, or Welsh Government, or the Senate, whatever you like, the Welsh was compulsory in all schools. So my kids can speak a lot better Welsh than I can. I'm living in London for 5 years, living in Reading for 2, sort of, I've lost it a bit.
It does that for you, doesn't it?
It'll come back when it needs to.
when you're in the valleys.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if that was offensive or not. Try to do it.
Extremely offensive. I wouldn't show your face around LSD for a while.
Yeah. So let's jump straight into Torchwood. When they announced the Torchwood, no, just before they announced Torchwood, it's my little anecdote for you. I misread it. I thought it said Touchwood.
Touchwood, yeah.
That's a completely different show.
No, when I first read the article, Russell was going to do Torchwood. I thought it was Touchwood.
Oh, so it wasn't just me.
Adult Doctor Who, Touchwood. It made sense. But, yeah. It wasn't. It was Torchwood. It was, of course, an anagram of Doctor Who.
So yeah,
It makes even more sense.
Well, that was the secret code for it, wasn't it, during the first series?
Yes, it was.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Torchwood and coming into it. So, did you know much about Doctor Who or any of that before?
I was a massive fan when I was younger. Sylvester McCoy was my Doctor when I was a kid. I religiously watched all those. But then I went to college, and drink and other stuff took over. Girls and socialising, and and it wasn't on air for so many years, and it wasn't until it came back with Russell's reimagining with David Tennant that I was sort of got back into it again, but not with the sort of investiture that I had originally when I was a kid. But I was still very much down with it, especially when I read the article about Torchwood, that Torchwood was happening. I thought, what a great idea. Being a young out of work, penniless actor at the time, I thought, set in Wales, set where I'm from, because it's a perfect part for me. Usually for actors, if you know something's going to get made, and you think, I'd love to be in that, or you think that might be a perfect role for you, you never, ever get a look in, ever. So it was really a unique twist of fate that I eventually got to be in it.
So what was the process you went through to actually get the role?
Right, well, as far as auditioning went, I auditioned once for Russell, but I think the process started a lot earlier than that. So I did a one-off bit character for Russell in a show he did called Mine or Mine, which the premise of which was that a Swansea taxi driver finds an ancient contract by which he finds out that he actually owns Swansea. With Griff Rhys-Jones, and it was a delightful comedy drama. And I had one scene in that where I was sort of love interest or date of the boy in the family, and it was an awful date. The entire scene consisted of a really long, awkward pause, which completely spoke for itself. Taken really badly, when sort of looking around, twiddling thumbs, and feeling really awkward. And that character was called Yanto Jones, and it was great fun to do. It was a bit of comedy. I didn't have any lines, and it was lovely to have the scene with no lines. But it was such a, I think at the time it held the record for being the longest awkward pause in a TV show. But they had to cut it from the televised version because of scheduling. They had to move the scheduling slot. Can't say that when you haven't had a whiskey. And one of the episodes, out of the 6 episodes, had to get cut, and so some of the storylines had to get cut, and the awkward pause Yanto scene was one of the victims of that process. So I wasn't in the televised version. I was in the DVD version. They put it back in for the DVD version. But as a nod, I think when I got Torchwood, I think the reason I only did one audition, most people for a TV show, especially regular, do at least 3 auditions with callbacks, was that I played that role, and Russell knew me and seen me, and as a sort of nod, he gave me the name back, Yanto Jones, because originally the sort of chauffeur in Torchwood, or the outfit to John Barrowman's Batman, was called Idris Hopper.
Okay.
And when I got the part, they changed it. So I suppose the whole process of me getting Yanto started a good 2 or 3 years before with that awkward pause on Mine on Mine.
Because you acted the hell out of that pause.
Oh God, I acted the shit out of that pause. I was sorry, kids. Are there any kids here? Yes, Gareth. Yes, there are. Sorry, I'll wash my mouth. Yes, I acted the hell out of that pause.
And what was it like coming on set for the first day?
The most terrifying and exciting day of work I've had to this day. Maybe working at the National, which I've done recently, comes close. But yeah, to walk onto a film set where you know you're playing a regular role in a show that's part of a massive British institution, when you know so many eyes are on it, waiting to judge, either tear it apart or build it up. It was absolutely terrifying, but also, as an actor, my first day as a regular on a TV show, so it was a huge mixture of emotions, but John and the rest of the cast quickly put those at ease with just the way I was welcomed and their sense of support, the family atmosphere. It was I was made thoroughly welcome. So yeah, it was a whirlwind of emotions that day.
The character of Yanto Jones was even in the first series, where I think probably hadn't really come into his own, was still a fan favourite really early on.
It's great. I think characters like that do get like people like to sort of invest in them because there's so much mystery about them. So the whole thing with getting together with your mates and sort of making guesses of where he's from, what makes him tick, and seeing who's right. That's a whole thing on its own. So it was nice to have that role that you could say was underwritten. I think it was purposely written like that so it could organically grow into something. I mean, I think he was supposed to be killed off quite early, so I think the underwriting of it was to sort of facilitate that without upsetting too many people if he had to go. But
it looked like he was going to be gone in the first series.
First season and the second season, she was supposed to go, and I survived both. So yeah, I was lucky, and I think the producers and the audience, the viewers at home, enjoyed the way he grew, the way the one-liners, the dry sense of humour, the chemistry between him and Captain Jack. But that was something that wasn't there originally. It was definitely something that happened over the course of the filming.
I was going to say, I think it's safe to say that by series 2, Yanto really developed into a very interesting character and came into his own in the second series. Yeah, and still a mystery. I think even when he died from maybe an fart in in series 3, he was still a mystery. It was still a mystery about Yanto, and I think that's why there was such a sort of dramatic, let's say, backlash to his demise, was because people hadn't learned enough about him. He was too quick for him to go. Because even when the character drove episodes like Cybergirl, there was still something guarded, still something he was hiding. The suit was also always a suit of armour. He was hiding something beneath it all. And I still think that mystery is being explored and discovered, and threads of it are being discovered in the Big Finish episodes today. Yeah. And even still, he's still sort of a mysterious character, even after all those adventures. I think I really enjoyed the dryness of him. You know, the wit, and there are those moments of just complete deadpan.
Genius, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm joking.
No, do you know what I'm getting? I really enjoyed that as a juxtaposition with Captain Jack, who was just the complete opposite.
Yeah, and that's what Torchwood allowed a lot of the actors, guest actors and regulars to do, was we were in this sort of heightened Doctor Who universe, but because it was aimed at adults, we didn't so much have to explain as much, we didn't have to project so much onto the screen. Our tools could be used in a more subtle way to tell the story and in turn become more of a naturalistic thing. And all that deadpan stuff is, that's my dry sense of humour coming through. That's something I put into the...
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was allowed to do it. I probably wouldn't be allowed to do that as much in Doctor Who. The Doctor Who episodes I did, there was definitely a sense that we had to both, the Torchwood element had to sort of make it all a little bit bigger, a little bit more heightened to bring it up to that sort of family-friendly, making sure everybody at home gets the story and gets what's being thought and felt.
There always felt like there was a real darkness there, though, an undercurrent with the Yanto. That, I always felt like in a moment, if the situation was right, he could turn, and do things that you would not think that he was capable of doing.
Absolutely, and again, that was part of the mystery and the danger. And I think that's to do with allowing the character to have trauma. I think a lot of Yanto's past, a lot of his armour, and even the deadpan, the jokes, the humour, it's all part of this armour that he wears to hide something, hide trauma, and not just one trauma. I think there's probably quite a lot of instances of trauma in his past. And yeah, so as long as that's in there when you're playing it, you do get that sense of he could do anything at any minute, or Yeah.
What was your favourite episode? It's a boring question, but
favourite episode?
It's
it's really difficult, but I loved, and not so much for Yanto's story. And if I did the episode again, I'd probably approach it a little differently. But I just love the whole concept of countryside in series 1. With the cannibals, with the monsters being human. I mean, today you might be seen as slightly xenophobic, maybe, but being Welsh, I'm allowed to enjoy it. But the fact that the monsters were Welsh Valley people was really enjoyable. Well, not that boring. Got.
They don't know what they're missing. Was there anything in the production that you found challenging, something that you wouldn't want to repeat in your career later on?
Oh yeah, definitely. The Memory Adam episode where he's sat in the rain on the floor, like covered in rainwater. We've got a rain machine that's said, hello.
Yes.
Sorry, announcement has to be me. Bye.
This is an announcement. If you have a vehicle parked on site, a red Kia, registration MD22HYP, you need to move your vehicle as soon as physically possible, if not immediately, as it's parked in a towaway bay, and we don't want anyone getting towed.
I hope it's the guys that stood up and walked over there.
So that's a red Kia, registration MD22HYP. Thank you.
When you said announcement, I thought it was going to be, has anyone seen little Gemma's mummy and daddy? She's lost, and I was like, oh no, of course, make the announcement. But somebody's car? Wow. No worries. Anyway.
I actually thought it was going to be someone who lost their mummy.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like serious.
Or maybe.
When he zaps Constantine's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, who plays Constantine, that was his first ever job in Meat, and he doesn't get very many lines because I zap him in the forehead with an electric. That was originally supposed to be a gun, and they thought it made Yanto too cool to go and shoot him in the head.
But it was also Kai's best episode because he was.
It was Kai's episode, really. I don't think it was Yanto. Yeah, it was great. We saw. We got another glimpse. We got another thread of the mystery of Yanto, so it was nice.
I travel coaches a lot, so I listen to a lot of Big Finish, Audible, and I listen to non-Torchwood stuff, Albion and
Oh yeah,
Rebecca.
I've done stuff for Audible as well. Yeah.
So, and all your various Welsh accents.
My various Welsh accents.
You do a variety of Welsh accents.
Well, I'm from Wales, so I know. Yeah. My newest one, I think my most honed one was definitely the Emily Williams. Yeah, I worked hard on that.
Well, that.
Anyway, thank you. You think Meat for Yanto? It's a good episode. CGI is a bit dodgy, but it's a good episode.
Any other questions? Yes.
Which Doctor Master would you like to have appeared in Torchwood?
Pardon?
Which Doctor Master would you like to have appeared in Torchwood?
Doctor Who Monster to be in Torchwood. I mean, Cybermen were based sort of in it. I was going out with one with us.
Out with a cyber.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa, yes.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Jack.
No.
I've got
It's Cybermen, and then there's the Daleks, but then the Daleks did sort of infiltrate Torchwood in the Doctor Who episode they were in. So I think the Master would be a good Torchwood.
which incarnation?
The Eric Roberts one. No. I love Eric Roberts. I think I love Johnson.
Yeah.
Any of the modern ones. I think they're all great. Yeah.
I go Missy.
Missy is I suppose
You know that I actually got a piece of cyber, I don't know.
Have you?
Yeah.
So yes, it's the Master in whatever incantation. I think the Master, the only person that can defeat the Master, is the Doctor. So having the Master without having the Doctor to sort of come and save the day might be quite dark.
The Master is the Doctor without a moral compass, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I think Saigon's would have worked.
Yeah. Good question.
Any other questions? Yes.
Come on, Lucy.
Oh, Lucy first. Learning names.
How did you feel when you found out that you had a shrine dedicated to you after you died? And the fact that it's been kept up for over 10 years now?
Well, do you know what? The shrine is something I can say that I have as an actor that no other actor has, I don't think. Well,
Dobina has now. You're not the only fictional character.
What, the irritating
yeah,
elf thing?
Permanent shrine now.
It's got a shrine?
Yeah.
To be fair, Dobby is an excellent actor.
Dobby's got a shrine. Okay, at the time I was the only actor with a shrine. Every day that it's there, I'm amazed by it. I mean, it's been 13 years now since it was originally conceived, and the fact that people still put things on there and send things to the caretaker to be put on there and is lovely and really moving. As long as it's not negative, as long as the stuff on there is positive, then I'm a big supporter, and it's very flattering, sometimes overwhelming. Good question. Thanks, Lucy. Hello.
Did you get to keep any of the props?
Not officially.
Officially.
But if someone's not listening,
But I think I can say now that I'm not going to get sacked. I've nicked quite a lot of stuff. Suits, shirts, stopwatches, ties, shoes.
So just your wardrobe.
Basically most of my wardrobe, a lot of which I actually donated to cosplayers. So I didn't keep it all. I've only got a couple of items left, but most of it I actually donated to charities and cosplay groups. So yeah, still got stopwatch, still got a watch, and I've still got a couple of ties, I think. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Did you still as much as John Barrowman?
What?
Did you steal as much as John Barrowman?
Say that again.
Did you steal as much as John Barrowman did?
Did I steal as much as John? No, I think John Barrowman stole a Dalek. He's allowed, he's got a car big enough to fit one in.
It's broken at the moment and you can't get it fitted.
Yeah, no, I think it was probably in his contract who's allowed to make stuff, but yeah, I had to do it on the slide. I hope they don't kill me off now.
Bird stole the bar.
The bar. That wasn't a prop, that was an original freestanding bar from a hotel. Which is again a completely different story. For those of you who don't know the story, Byrne Gorman, who played Owen, we stayed at this hotel called the Craigenhorse Castle in the Brecon Beacons to film the Countryside episode. And he only recently admitted doing this, but we had a knock in the morning, there was all Russians in the corridor, and we all went out to see Byrne be confronted by this hotel manager to say, housekeeping has said that you've tried to steal the bath. This is a massive Victorian freestanding gold-legged bath.
Cast iron.
So Byrne's there, still sort of hungover, going, am I going to make a bath? Will we stick in my rucksack? Yeah, so there was a huge, and it was years and years and years of people going, did you try to do anything with the bath? And then I think it was last year, he eventually went, guys, I did try to steal the bath. He'd actually used his keys or something to unscrew the bolts and everything. He did actually try and steal the bath. So yeah, that was that story.
Well, I think on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming.